Nobody else but you. Nobody else makes me. Nobody else had a clue what I could do, what I could do.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you guys every single thing you need to start your own six-figure hair care line. So I did a video very similar to this a couple of weeks ago where I shared everything you need to know in order to grow your hair. So if you want to check that out, I'll link it in the description. But you guys really like that. That's the most views I've gotten in a while, so I was like, you know what, why not do it for a small business? So before we get started, make sure that if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, click the subscribe button, put your notifications on. That way you're notified every single time I upload. Make sure if you're not, follow my TikTok and Instagram for daily content. And finally, check out my hair care line if you are interested in getting some hair growth products of your own. And I believe by the time this video is up, I'll be restocked, so we're good to go. Alrighty guys, let's get into it. As you guys know, I've had my small business for about 2 years now. I have 8 products on my line, and I kind of do everything by myself. So I've learned a lot, and I've also made a lot of mistakes. And so I'm just kind of here to just kind of break down, I guess, and give you guys something that I didn't have, which is basically just a list in one place of kind of everything you need to think about before starting your business that will set you up for success. So I'm about to drop some real gems here, hopefully. So the first thing that you need to decide when starting your business is like, what type of products are you gonna have? So for me, I started off with hair butters, because when I first started as a social media influencer, my first viral video was of my hair product, my hair butter, going viral. So for me, that was like the product, really the only hair product that I had, and the first one that I came out with. So you kind of want to think about like what type of products you want to do. Do you want to do hair butters? Do you want to do oils? A lot of people start out with just oils, which I think is great. It's very simple. You can do shampoos, conditioners, like whatever. I would just say start off with no more than 5 products. Honestly, I would say around 2 or 3 is going to be your best bet until you can get used to making products in bulk and packaging orders and things like that. I would just start off with just a few products. So I only had 1 product on my line for about, honestly, like a year. And then about, I want to say maybe 8 months ago, in July, I think that's 8 months ago, June or July is when I dropped like the rest of my line that I currently have. So I currently have 4 different hair butters, I have 2 oils, I have a shampoo, and I have a scalp scrub. So that's kind of like where I'm at right now. So you want to kind of just think about the types of products you want to make. And again, if you don't know where to start, oils are a great place to start, because people love hair oils. Natural hair oils are like the thing, especially like the Homeo situation. Link that video if you want to know the details on that. But yeah, so that's kind of where you want to start. So the next thing that you want to think about is like how you're going to sell. Are you going to be someone that does like pop-up shops or farmers markets, I guess, or like going door to door, or like the most common for small businesses is selling online? So for me, of course, I went for the online route. That's what most people do. And so if you're gonna go online, you have to think about where you want to sell. Do you want to sell on Etsy? Do you want to sell on Shopify? Like there's so many different websites that you can use to start your business. I have seen that most people who do like arts and crafts type of things do Etsy. Like for example, if you make customized jewelry, or if you do I bought like a customized Bible for my sister for Christmas. I went on Etsy for that. That's the type of thing. And I find that people who do like hair products or clothing and things like that tend to use more Shopify. Shopify is more popular for that type of stuff, and it's actually just more popular in general for small businesses. And a lot of like things that you're gonna find out about your business later on connect to your Shopify account. So I personally went with Shopify, but again, depends. We're specifically talking about a hair care line, so that's what I would recommend, Shopify, but it's up to you. Once you kind of figure out what products you want to sell and how you're gonna sell, now you need to start figuring out how you're gonna make your products. So with products comes the ingredient, comes the packaging. Say I'll do my luxurious oil blend, one of my products, right? If I was starting off with that, first of all, I need to think, okay, what types of oils do I want in an oil blend? Well, first I have to learn what is an oil blend. And of course, we know that's just a bunch of oils mixed together. So I'll say, okay, what types of oils do I want? That's where I would go and research like a crap ton of oils and see like which ones pair well together, what are the benefits of each one, see what combination works best for textured hair, see how many oils are in other oil blends. That's what I did a lot. For a lot of things regarding my products, I would just go to like Walmart or Target and just spend like 30-40 minutes just looking at all the hair products and seeing the ingredients, seeing the label, seeing the containers, just like kind of getting, you know, some help. And also sometimes I would just stay here and go in my bathroom and get all my hair products, lay them out on my desk and just look at them and just kind of see like I see most common, what's not, and like that's actually very helpful. So we're back to the oil blend. So once I find out the ingredients, now I have to formulate. So formulation is it's a long process, and I think formulation is a long process because it's just like learning things as you go. There's not really a class. I mean, some people offer classes, but like when it comes to small business, there really isn't a degree that you can get on like everything you need to do, which is why I'm making a video like this. So a lot of stuff is like learning as you go. So when it comes to formulating products, you want to have a balance between like doing things that you know work with other people without outright copying somebody's recipe. So like, for example, I'm not the only one that's ever made an oil blend, right? But I'm not gonna go to we'll say Mielle. I'm not gonna go and look at Mielle's oil blend and then copy everything they do and then sell it. Like, first of all, that's illegal, but second of all, like, people aren't gonna like that if they find out later on that you copy someone's stuff. That doesn't fly well with people. So you want your own original thing. For me, when I was creating my oil blend, I thought, okay, like, what is something that I want in an oil blend? So I know for me, I have very thick hair, so I would want a very heavy oil blend. But I also know like a lot of people like lightweight oils, so I have to balance that. So I decided to make an oil that wasn't weighed down, but also wasn't super, super lightweight that it didn't get the job done. And so that kind of determined what oils that I use because I did research on all my oils. So that's type of. Then there's the process of like when you formulate, you have to know how much essential oils to use and like the difference between essential oils and carrier oils, and knowing, okay, what's the calculation on the formula for the dilution of essential oils and carrier oils, because if you add too much essential oils, it can irritate the scalp. If you don't add enough, it won't get the benefits. So like all that type of stuff. And a lot of people ask me all the time, like, how did you formulate? How did you do all that? I would say your best bet is YouTube and online like articles and researching. And of course, throughout everything, you can always ask people. I get people asking me all the time, do you do classes? How do you formulate? And so sometimes I answer stuff on my stories. Sometimes I answer DMs, just like giving you kind of tips, and that's fine. Throughout this entire process, like, it's great to go and get advice from people, but do not ever ask someone for their formula. That's not right. I feel like that's selfish, and I feel like that's unfair, because it's not fair that they worked extremely hard to create their formulation and now they are seeing the fruits of their labor and they're making money off of that hard work, and then you just skip all those steps, skip the formula, and then you can make the same amount. That's not fair. I think that if you want to run a small business, you have to put in the work. A lot of work goes into a small business, but I am living proof that like if you put in the work, you will see the success, you will see the benefits, but you don't have to put in the work. So that's kind of really it with formulating your products. You just kind of want to see what everybody else is doing, and you want to test. That's what formulation is. You want to test. Like when I was formulating my shampoo, I maybe made it like 20 times before I finally got a formula that I liked, and even then I had to test it on my hair like several times before I was like okay and comfortable with making it. And then I had to test how to make it in larger batches, because I was only making like enough for like maybe 2 bottles at a time. And so like it's just a lot of things going on. And once you find your formulas, you want to write them down. Do not keep them in your head. That's a mistake. Write all your formulas down. That way that stuff comes out right each and every time. I say it takes me about a couple weeks to formulate a product, depending on how busy I am. Sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's shorter, but yeah, you just gonna have to buckle up and like do your research on formulating. No one's just gonna give you the recipe, and if you go into it expecting people to do that, that's messed up. But of course, there are like manufacturers and stuff that already have formulations, and you just be like, hey, I want you to make me a shampoo, and they'll do it like that. But if you're someone that But typically, if you're just starting a business, that's kind of expensive. People can't really afford that, so they make their own stuff. So that's kind of where I would go. Like right now, I'm looking into getting someone else to make my products. But starting out, I couldn't afford to pay a factory to give me 800 oils, right? Especially because I don't know how many I'm going to sell. So that's kind of like that sort of thinking. Okay, so once you formulate your products, then you want to go on to like packaging and labeling. So that's where you kind of be like, do I want 8-ounce containers, 2-ounce containers, 4-ounce containers? Do I want people to have a choice between 2-ounce and 4-ounce? Like, how does that situation go? And again, for me, the way I found out the sizes of my stuff is I just looked at other hair products. For like my oil blend, I saw a lot of people doing 6-ounce oils, and that was like a pretty common thing. So I just did 6 ounces, and I saw people having certain tops with like the squeeze bottle tops, so I did those. So that's kind of just like just looking at other people and that kind of thing. And then as far as labels, that kind of goes with like the whole aesthetic of your brand. So for me, my whole aesthetic is like black and white. You want to pick like 2 or 3 theme colors, maybe an accent color. You just want to keep everything consistent, so like all the labels on my products are all the same, just the title and the ingredients are changed, and then my website kind of reflects that as well. I want my brand to look like you are buying luxury hair products, but they're actually affordable, but it feels like you're buying luxury hair products, like it feels like you're being bougie. That's the kind of vibe. And so I created all my labels on Canva. And as far as the sizing of labels, what I do is I again just went to my hair products in my cabinet or went to Walmart or Target, and I had a tape measure and I measured the labels of a 6-ounce oil bottle. I'm like, okay, so I need a 6x4 or whatever, and that's kind of how I did that. So again, I'm telling you, it might sound weird. Go to Walmart, go to Target, get you a notepad, have your phone out, just take notes on ingredients you see, take notes on the aesthetics, how the labels are set up. Like, I'm telling you, you learn a lot from other hair brands. As long as you're not copying them, it's great inspiration, it's a great idea. And of course, asking people. So that's kind of sums up the whole situation with creating your products, because you can't sell anything if you don't create your products. So that's kind of how I go about that. And it's gonna take a while, but it's gonna be a lot of work, but you got it. So the next thing is a website, right? A lot of people ask me, how did you create a website? So when you sign up with Shopify, you sign up with Etsy, you create your own store or your own website. And so the thing is, you will have to pay for a domain if you don't want like Shopify at the end. So for example, my website is anaturalrose.com. I paid $14 a year to keep that domain. It just renewed like 2 weeks ago. So you're gonna have to pay for a domain if you want a website name. I would say that honestly, the first thing you should do is decide what name you want your company to be, because you want to go ahead and grab that domain before someone steals it. If you ever wonder why my company is called A Natural Rose and there's an E at the end of the natural, it's because a natural rose without the E was taken. So that's why it's a natural, I guess, rose. So you want to figure it out. So for me, some people may not know this, I actually had a different name for my business for about, honestly, 6 months, and then I changed it about a year and a half ago. My business was called Rose's Inches, and that's because y'all know my name's on like all my social media platforms is Brittany Rose. Rose is my middle name, so I wanted something that was personable to me. But at the time, I was doing a lot of hair growth content, so I wanted something to reflect that. So I did Rose's Inches, because I would always say on my like TikTok, like, let's get these inches, or see how many inches. Like, I just said that a lot. Later on, I kind of realized like I didn't really want to limit my business to just hair care, and a name like that kind of would. So I wanted to try to like expand and give myself room to in the future expand to different types of products if I wanted to. And so that's why I decided A Natural Rose, because it's like my whole theme of my business is making products that are natural and affordable. Natural meaning no silicone, sulfates, or parabens, are healthy for your hair, for your skin, for your body. So I feel like a name like that is personal, but it also gives me room to grow and expand if I want to try something else in the future. But right now we're just on hair care. So you want to decide your name like the second you can and grab it up. Going back to the website, so once you go to Shopify, you set up your account, you'll be able to create a website through them, and they have templates on how to create your stuff. So like literally they'll be like, okay, put a picture here, put the products here. So like you'll go through it, and I may do a video like that later on, taking you through Shopify and everything, but like it has like step by step of like how to put your products on the website, how to put an ebook on the website, where to put the name of the product, how to set up the like all that's kind of like set up for you. You just kind of fill in the blanks, which is why I really like Shopify. It's great for beginners. And so you just kind of want to like design your own website using their templates. You can pick colors, you can pick fonts, all that good stuff. Yeah, I think this is the last thing that I want to mention about the website, but something we don't really think about is like product descriptions. On websites, when you click the product, it has like the description of the product. So for that, again, literally all I did was like go to like Melanin Hair Care's website, or I went to Camille Rose or TGIN, and I looked at how they set up their product descriptions, and I basically just like copy and pasted, and then just like filled in my ingredients, filled in all, like I basically just kind of use it as a template. I didn't copy it, but I use it as a template. I'm telling y'all, using other hair care lines as a template is a great way to really help set you up. It really helps save you a lot of time. A lot of this stuff you have to figure out on your own, but like you can cut corners by doing that. So you just want to make sure that you are aware of all the ingredients, you know everything's on there, and that's good to go. Another thing is product pictures. So something that I've been seeing a lot lately is, so like for the aesthetic of your brand, like pictures and stuff like that, a lot of people use website designers, or they'll use UGC content creators, and these are people that aren't really influencers, they just make content for brands. So for example, if a company reached out to me and said, hey, we want you to make a reel with our product, and they don't want me to post it on my platforms or anything, they just want me to make a product, make a video with their product for advertisement, and then they use it. It has nothing to do with my platforms. A lot of people are into that right now, so that's a great way too. If you reach out to a UGC content creator and be like, hey, can you make me some product pics? Can you make me like some aesthetic videos of my products? Send them back to me. I'll pay you whatever your rate is, and get a website designer to put it all together. And that's it. So that's a great way to do it. Or you can make your own product pics. I have a YouTube video where I showed me making my products and taking a product pic. I bought like this thing off of Amazon. I'll put it in my Amazon storefront, which is linked in my description. It's like a little box that gives you an aesthetic background. So I take my own product pics. I am looking to get the UGC content situation and the website designer once I'm working on some stuff in my business. Once I'm done with that, that'll be a thing. But you know, so there's really a bunch of ways you can do it, but I would say if you're just starting out, like there are plenty of ways to do all this on your own without spending the money, because I understand starting a business is an investment. You're putting money into something that you haven't seen anything come out of, and that's very scary. I believe when I first started my business, I invested about $2,000, and that was very scary. And now it's like I spend 5 times that every single month on like inventory and all that type of stuff. So it's not a big deal now, but it's scary at first. Once you have all your products, once you have your website, now let's talk about actually selling your products, getting your products out there. Talked about this in my How I Grew 6 Figures in 6 Months video, but I would say starting a social media platform for your business is very important. I personally would, like I did, I separated my influencer Instagram account from my business Instagram account, and that really helped me to kind of have a separate identity with my business as an influencer, I guess. I'm sorry y'all, my air conditioner, I think something wrong with it. It's really loud for some reason, so sorry for the background noise. For me, what really worked in like getting me views, to get me advertisements, is people like it when you make products. So I would make products on my thing. Sometimes I would go live on Instagram and make products on Instagram or TikTok that really got people's, you know, spirits up about my stuff. Also, doing story times while I make products was a great way, because you keep people entertained, so they watch the whole video and they get to know about your product. Like a lot of people were like, oh, I just saw you and the story was funny, what do you sell? Like that sort of thing. So sometimes people get attracted to you from different audiences if you get outside of the whole like small business niche. So advertising is a huge thing. Again, I said this in the other video, you can have the best products in the world, if no one knows about them, like you're not gonna get a sale. So advertising is big. So yeah, I would definitely say start a social media platform. I personally prefer Instagram for my small business. That's where I focus most of my attention on. And of course, I do advertise here and there on my personal TikTok, since I have a large following on there. And also YouTube, as I've grown on YouTube, I've really been able to integrate my business into, like I'm doing now, my personal YouTube, and that has also garnered me business. So I mean, the more social media platforms, the better. Like I figured out a way to be consistent posting on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok every single day. So I mean, it doesn't hurt to have extra social media platforms. You never know what's gonna blow up and stuff like that. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. But I will say that I mainly like Instagram for like dedicated advertisement for my business. I also do have Facebook ads, but I just started paying for Facebook ads like maybe 2 months ago, and they do okay. I don't think they drive as much traffic to my business as I would like them to, but they do all right. I was doing fine before Facebook ads. I never paid for advertisements before then. Sometimes on my business Instagram, if a reel would blow up for some reason, I would pay for it to get boosted, and that would kind of help. But I genuinely don't really ever pay for advertisements. I feel like you can advertise your business without paying for it, but it's up to you. Also, a great way to get like things out there is if you know someone that has a decent following, or if you have family members and friends, get them to try your products and maybe film them doing their products. Or if you know a content creator, like for example, my best friend was starting a business, right, and she needed advertisement, I would 100% do a video for her for free and promote it on my page, because that's my best friend, right? So if you know somebody like that, you can definitely get them to make videos for you and to like give people like a variety of advertisements that they see, because I know a lot of people are like, you only show stuff with your hair. That's why I started my ambassador business. So that way I can get like a variety of people using my products, not just me. So, you know, there's a whole bunch of ways you can advertise, but I would just say that advertising is definitely like, it's like 90% of this whole thing, because again, if you don't advertise, no one knows about your stuff, you don't get orders. Okay, so now that you have your products made, they're packaged and labeled pretty, you have your website, and you've advertised, what happens when you start getting orders? A lot of people are like, so how do you ship orders? Like, how does that work? Okay, so when you get an order, you get an order. I work with Shopify, so I get an order from Shopify. Ding, get an order. And so when you click on the order, there will be a place for you to click create shipping label, and Shopify will create a shipping label for you. So I go and I print out the shipping label, and so I'm gonna grab it, hold on. So once you go and it'll say create shipping label, you buy it, and then they'll give you the option to print. So when you print your labels, you'll see, like, I'll try to find a clip of like me printing out shipping labels. You'll see it just prints all the shipping labels out. I think mine prints 50 at a time. So what I use to print my shipping labels is a label printer. I got this from Amazon. This will be on my Amazon storefront. It's a Polono laser label printer. And so I actually bought this when I first started my business, and this is like the best purchase ever because, y'all, you can use a regular printer if you want to, but I'm telling you, this cost me maybe $100. Invest. I was scared to buy it, but I use it. It's been 2 years. I love it. Buy you a label printer. Now let me quickly backtrack to labels, like on your container. I get my labels printed for me. I don't print my own labels anymore. I personally prefer to get my labels made for me, but they are more expensive. So if you don't want to, I would recommend getting a label printer as well for your stuff. Like, I'm telling you, don't be cheap and get like a regular ink printer if you're trying to print your labels. It's not worth it. The ink smears, it's hard getting things aligned. You waste a lot of labels, you waste money. So either get them printed or get you a label printer that's specific for the size or whatever you're looking for. I love this thing. I use this, and you basically just hold on, and you just buy these blank shipping labels. You can get these from Amazon as well, just blank shipping labels, and you just stick them into the printer and you print out your labels. So you're gonna need one of those. Definitely gonna need one of those. I'm pretty sure they might have cheaper ones, but that one's really good. It doesn't use any ink. All you have to do is just download the program onto your computer, and it's gonna work each and every time. You just plug it up like a USB cord. You plug it up to your computer. Prints. I can do it on my iMac. I can do it on my laptop, whatever. But yeah, it's just great. So you're gonna need a label printer. You're also gonna need mailers. So you're also gonna have to decide like what type of way do you want to package your products for shipping. Do you want to use mailers? This one's open, but I use mailers to package my orders and ship my orders. You can use boxes. It just depends. For me, I find that mailers are the best because they are less expensive and they are more flexible in the box, so you can kind of fit things in better. But sometimes, of course, I do have boxes, so if someone orders like 15 hair products, I can package that in a box. But most people buy 2 to 4 hair products every time, so I use mailers. That works best for me. Also, one thing I started doing was I started bubble wrapping some of my products because they tended to bust or break because USPS is rough. That's another thing you have to think about. If your products are fragile, you want to go ahead and make sure that you are wrapping things up correctly. So for me, one thing that I did from the beginning is when I first came out with my 2-ounce oil bottle, it was in a glass bottle, my 2-ounce oil, when I bought these mini bubble bags that I would put the oil in because I already knew that it was fragile. So you just want to make sure you think about those things. You can use like stuffers or like little confetti things, whatever, yada yada yada. You just want to make sure that your items are securely packaged. The worst thing ever is like you could not even do anything wrong. Like your items could be fine. You could drop it and stuff, but somehow UPS or USPS or FedEx, whatever, they just be throwing stuff and it breaks. And the worst thing is when you have to refund a customer over something that they did, but you have no choice. And also, like, the carrier you use is up to you. USPS is the cheapest carrier for me to use. That's why I use them. But you can use FedEx. You can use UPS. It just depends. Sometimes with certain countries and things like that, you have to use a certain carrier. But for me, I just use USPS, and that works the best. But yeah, that's pretty much it for packaging. You just kind of, again, look at what other people are doing. Like, look at other small businesses, especially. That's a good idea too. Look at small businesses, see how they're packaging. I started using mailers because I saw a small business that was making hair products like me using mailers, and so I never even like considered boxes. Like, whatever you choose to do is up to you, but you just want to make sure it works and you're not packaging orders and then they arriving damaged and then you have to like deal with the consequences. And so when you package your orders, literally, so I use USPS. People ask me this, like, how do you drop off packages? So what I do is I don't have USPS pickup. Sometimes the carrier will have, you just set a time that you can go online and set a time for them to come by and they just like pick up all your packages. You can do that, but my address doesn't have that option, so I go to USPS and I just drop off all my packages. There's typically a bucket, like a huge bin that's in the post office. You can just throw all your packages in. You don't have to wait in line or anything because they already have the shipping labels on. When people are waiting in line at the post office, they're trying to get stamps or they're trying to get labels, right? You already have all that, so you can just throw it into the bucket. Or I started doing this recently during the winter time. They have a dock behind my post office. I can just throw like a huge bin. You just throw all your packages in and just separate them depending on whether it's priority or if it's like first class or whatever. I started doing that in the winter because I don't like my products sitting outside during the summer, so I just did that in the winter. So like there's a bunch of different ways you can do it. I think that's it for like everything packaging and getting your items delivered. And I say this, the last thing really is like just be prepared for customers. I did a video on this recently, which I'll try to link all these videos I'm saying about where I talked about customer service and how it's a whole different ballgame as a small business owner when you're dealing with customers. I would suggest getting an email for your customer, so don't use your personal email. So I do a naturalrose@gmail.com. That's an email that I solely just use for business. So that's my customer service email. When I order inventory, I sign up with the website and I use that email address. Like anything like regarding that, Shopify, that's the email that I use, so everything's connected to that. My PayPal account, I connect with that on Shopify. If you want people to have the option to use PayPal, you can connect your Shopify account. So I create a separate Shopify account with that email. So you just kind of want to keep everything kind of the same in regards to that. So create an email. And finally, just some like logistics of a small business, you want to make sure that you have a business account. To be fair, I didn't have a business account until I started doing my business full time, which was about 8 months ago. So I now have a separate business account, and so I pay myself like a salary. So I pay myself a certain amount each month for bills, for personal expenses, for tuition. Take that out the business account, put that in my personal accounts. That's my payment for the month, and everything else just stays in my business. Like I don't touch that money or anything like that. Like I have a card for that account. I don't even use it. I just have it in case of emergencies. Like if I have no money anywhere else and I need to use it, but I really don't. Also, you want to make sure that you are keeping track of like all your sales and your revenue, keeping a spreadsheet of all your inventory, because that really helps with taxes, with write-offs and things like that. You want to make sure that you set up a state tax in your Shopify. Basically, you need to be collecting sales tax on purchases that come from whatever state you live in. So for example, right now I live in Louisiana, so anyone that purchases from my company that lives in Louisiana, they will have to pay tax on their order. And then as you grow, certain requirements will make you do that in other states. So I also pay sales tax in like Georgia and like a couple other states. So you want to make sure you have all that set up. But basically Shopify is going to tell you all that. You just want to make sure when you make your Shopify account, you literally look at every single setting that you have to make sure everything is set correctly. And again, I'll probably make a video in the future about how to set up a Shopify account and just show you everything that's in there. And the last thing is, if you don't have like a separate location for your business, you want to create a new address for your business. Like you don't want people knowing where you live. Like I don't want people knowing where my apartment is. So I basically have like an online address, I guess you can say. Basically you're just going to go on Google and you want to look up digital address or address for small business. I use a website, iPostal. I made an account with iPostal, and they basically gave me like an address to use for my business, and they can connect that address to a local post office. So any return packages I get, I can just go to that local post office, pick them up like that, or any mails that I get or whatever. So you just want to make sure that you are doing like a separate address for your stuff so no one knows where you live and anything like that. Guys, I think that's everything that I started out with my small business. Again, like all this may sound complicated and confusing, and it is a lot of work, but I'm telling you, you're gonna get a rhythm, you're gonna get a routine. When I first started this, I was like, this is so much, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. And now I'm just chilling and I'm just moving on to the next stage of my business. So if you're willing to work hard, if you're willing to be consistent, if you're willing to have long nights and hard nights and successful nights and great nights, you're going to be fine, you're going to be great, and you're going to be successful. And I wish you all the best. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Click the subscribe button, put your notifications on so you don't miss any of my uploads. Make sure to follow me on TikTok and Instagram as well as my business accounts if you would like to. And finally, go ahead and check out my hair care line if you are interested, as I believe we are now currently restocked. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Tell me what you see in me.